WrestleMania is 3 days out, and we're going to do what we always do on this channel, and we're going to preview the show. Fortunately, the other half of our PLE preview shows is busy this week, so unfortunately you're stuck with me. But nonetheless, we still are going to preview this year's WrestleMania, as we do all PLEs on this channel. And in this, we're going to talk about who wins, who loses, and what other storylines or consequences come from the results of this year's WrestleMania 40. So without further ado, let's dive in to WrestleMania 40. So we're going to kick off with night one, obviously, and let me begin by saying this. This is just the match card. I have no idea what order these are going in, so I'm just going on the list that I have sitting in front of me. And that is Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee taking on Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. And I have Rey and Dragon Lee winning this. I think it's almost guaranteed that we're going to get interference from the LWO and Legado del Fantasma. And I picked Rey and Dragon Lee winning because I just have a hard time seeing WWE, who are trying to give a big push to Dragon Lee, I have a hard time seeing that they're going to have him lose on his first WrestleMania, considering that they want him to basically become the next Rey Mysterio. Now, I will say, I would not have picked Dragon Lee. I would have picked Carlito, and I would say that there is a potential that Carlito turns heel here and turns on Rey, and we get a nice feud between those two. I could see that as a legit possibility as well. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's wishful thinking, but I think it's something that very well could be on the table. Moving along, we've got Bianca Belair, Naomi, and the debut of Jade Cargill officially in something that is not the Royal Rumble, taking on Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Now, let me say this, I did kind of call Jade joining the team, so props on me for that one. But besides that, I think they win, because I don't think there is any possibility that Jade loses in her debut at WrestleMania, and it also helps to have Bianca Belair on your team, who never seems to lose a big match. So, I'm picking the team of Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill in this one. Now, if you did see that video that I did post about Jade Cargill joining the team of Naomi and Bianca Belair, I mentioned in it that I could see a tag team forming between two of the three members of this team that I picked to win, and I do think that they challenge Damage Control for the women's tag team titles. I do think that that still happens. In terms of the teams, that part I just don't know, but I could definitely see two of the three members of Bianca, Naomi, and Jade forming a tag team officially and going after Damage Control for the women's tag team titles. Next up, we have the six-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, and we have Judgment Day, Awesome Truth, DIY, The New Day, New Catch Republic, and A-Town Down Under. The team that I want to win is Team Awesome Truth, and the reason for that is because it's R-Truth and The Miz. You can't go wrong with that, and I think it would help having two baby faces as a champion, because all the other main champions are heels, except for obviously Seth Rollins. So I think it would add a little bit of freshness to WWE if they had two of the most likable characters that WWE has to offer. But above all else, my main hope out of this ladder match is for them to split the tag titles, because it is so boring and just so overdrawn with the whole double titles and undisputed titles, whatever you want to call them. It's time to split them. We need them split. So above all else, I don't care who wins, just split the damn titles. Up next, we got brother versus brother. Yeet versus no Yeet. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, going at it at WrestleMania, fulfilling their childhood dream of facing each other at WrestleMania. I think Jey Uso wins. I think I'm becoming more of a Jey Uso fan. At first, I wasn't super crazy about this gimmick and him. Everything was yeet and yeet. Like, I get some people like it. It just didn't resonate with me as much. I resonated a lot more with Jimmy Uso's character. The way that he could shift from being the funny heel into the serious heel, I think is probably, arguably, his best work in the company up to this point. So I think Jay wins. Up next is the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Sami Zayn. And I'm picking Gunther in this one simply because I think the storyline between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn has a lot to offer. And I think ultimately, if Gunther retains, I think it ultimately ends up being Chad Gable that gets the title off of him. I think if you look, WWE knows that people love their matches because they put on crazy good matches every time, it feels like. So I think ultimately Chad Gable is the one to dethrone Gunther, and in the meantime, I would love to see him and Sami Zayn go back and forth for the opportunity to face Gunther again at some point in the future. So because of that, I'm picking Gunther. Moving right along to the Women's World Championship match where we have Rhea Ripley defending her title against Becky Lynch. And in this match, I have Rhea Ripley winning, and I think ultimately it's going to set up her versus Charlotte once again, maybe at WrestleMania 41, maybe at a bigger PLE in the meantime, but I think ultimately that's where we get. And I think we're seeing the seeds start to be planted because we're seeing Andrade, who is Charlotte's real-life husband, being made offers to join the Judgment Day, and I think that's ultimately going to end up leading to Charlotte versus Rhea again. And last but not least, we have the tag match between The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. And boy, oh boy, could we talk for hours on this one, but we don't have that kind of time. So, I think The Rock and Roman Reigns win, setting up Night 2's main event between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, being a Bloodline Rules match. I'll get to my reasoning why I think Roman and The Rock win on Night 1 in just a little bit, but I think a big reason why they win is because the way WWE is booking Cody Rhodes right now, they are making him look like the smallest of the small, the guy that just can't get a break and just is constantly getting beat up night after night, it seems like. So I think we're going to see that being carried into night number 2. And speaking of night number 2, we start off talking about the match between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, and the AOP. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm kind of hoping that this feud is done. I think it has ran its course. I think we've seen it go on for, it feels like, months now. So I'm excited to see what happens after this. In saying that, I think Bobby and the Street Profits win. As for what happens next, I don't know. But I think they're the more interesting team that could have the more interesting feuds. But I think Karrion Kross's new faction has given him a little bit more momentum in his career, and I think that's a great thing to see. So I'm excited to see what happens with both of these teams moving forward. But ultimately, I do have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits winning on Night 2. Moving right along with Night 2, we've got LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and I think LA Knight wins this one. I think it sets up him going after either the IC title or the US title, which we'll get to next, but I think this has been a fantastic feud. I think it sets up AJ Styles as a really solid heel moving forward, which we obviously knew he could pull off, and I think this is another opportunity for LA Knight to prove that he could be a mainstay household name in the WWE, and I think this is just another building block, and so I expect it to be a fantastic match and be a really solid end to a really good feud. LA Knight with the win. Since we just touched on it, let's move on to the US title match between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. And this has been such a fun feud to watch unfold, and Logan Paul just further cementing the fact that he should be in the WWE, that he was built for this lifestyle. However, unfortunately, I think Logan Paul loses to Randy Orton in this match. I think giving Randy Orton yet another WrestleMania moment after kind of having his comeback a little bit soured because of CM Punk returning, I think this would be an amazing moment, giving Randy Orton another moment in the spotlight, and ultimately I think setting up a feud with the guy we just talked about and possibly being LA Knight. I think that would be an amazing feud to build on moving forward in the future. Moving on to the WWE Women's Championship match between Io Sky and Bayley. I'm picking Bayley in this one. I think she is incredibly over right now with the fans. People love Bayley. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. People love Bayley. I think it's time that she holds a title again. I think she deserves it. And imagine we get another awesome shot of her holding the title with everybody in the background, similar to the picture at the Royal Rumble when she's pointing at the sign and everybody behind her is doing the same thing and pointing to the Wrestlemania sign. I think it would be a great moment, and I think Bayley deserves it above all else. Moving right along to the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth frickin' Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And in this match, I have Drew McIntyre winning and defeating Seth Rollins. I think Seth is going to be too beat up from night one. And also, if you missed it, WWE announced that Clash at the Castle will be going to Scotland, which is obviously where Drew McIntyre is from. So, I think it makes sense to have him walk in with a title, and why not have that title be the World Heavyweight Championship? And that leads us to the main event of night number 2, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And I have Cody Rhodes finishing his story. Now, hear me out. We talked about it earlier in this video. The tag match on night, I had The Rock and Roman Reigns winning, and that would set up this match as a Bloodline Rules match. And if you just saw the video that was posted to this channel very recently, you will know that there's a possibility and rumors and speculation that John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin may make an appearance, and I think it could be for this match, helping Cody Rhodes finish his story. Now, where does that set up Roman Reigns? What does life look like after Roman Reigns isn't the Universal Champion? I think The Rock sees Roman Reigns lose and declares himself as the Tribal Chief, setting up a match at SummerSlam for the Tribal Chief name and who sits at the head of the table in the Bloodline. I think that would be an awesome storyline, and let's be honest, a Rock versus Roman Reigns match doesn't need a title put on it in the first place. So I think it makes sense. I think Cody Rhodes is going to finally finish his story at night 2 of WrestleMania 40. And like that match will close out WrestleMania 40, it also ends this video right here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you did enjoy it, you leave a like on the video. It really mean a lot to me. But finally, we can say that WrestleMania is here. Let's enjoy it. Let's have some fun. I hope you enjoy the show. And as always, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.